Here's a guy who thinks the Big Bang Theory is in the Bible.
Thank you for tuning into this week's episode. What we're going to be talking about today is the Big Bang Theory versus the Bible. Here's the teaser, or here's the basic concept. The Big Bang Theory says that 13.8 billion years ago, there was this tiny little microscopic point in space.
No, it wasn't a point in space, it was all of space. The whole universe was in this hot, dense state. Sorry.
And it generated so much energy, it used Einstein's famous equation, E equals mc squared, and it went bang.
No, it didn't generate energy. Energy was simply in this high-density state. It was not created or made in any sense.
And light was created. Light was created 13.8 billion years ago.
No, it wasn't created either. Anything that hot and dense is going to be full of radiation, including light. There wasn't anything there that didn't already exist. Sometimes the Big Bang is misleadingly described as being preceded by nothing, which makes people think that there was a state of nothingness followed by a state of existence. And they think, well, something must have caused this change in states. But there never was a state of nothingness because nothingness is not a state. A better way of putting it is that the Big Bang was not preceded by anything, as best we can tell. There was never a change from a state of nothingness to a state of somethingness, so no such change need be accounted for. No cause of the universe is necessary.
So light's created here, and then 13.8 billion years later, humans are created. So in the Big Bang Theory, the first thing that was created was light, and the last thing created in the universe are human beings.
This isn't true. First of all, the Big Bang Theory says nothing about the creation of human beings. Secondly, there have been plenty of species that have appeared which are newer than humans. Just Google observed speciation to get a list of all of the times we've seen new species being created. Human beings have not been the last things to show up.
Okay, so in the Big Bang Theory, you also have the sun.
No, that's not part of the Big Bang Theory either.
Our sun was created 9.2 billion years after the Big Bang. So if you take light, go 9.2 billion years, our sun is created, and then 13.8 billion years from light, you have humans being created. If you divide 9.2 into 13.8, you get exactly 2/3. So the fraction is 2/3 of the way from light to humans, our sun was created. And 2/3, as you know, is equal to 4/6. It's the same fraction. What does the Bible say? Moses writes the book of Genesis about 3,300 years ago. And Moses says that light was created on the first day. And he says the last thing created were human beings.
If he said that, he's wrong on both accounts because light wasn't created and human beings were not the last things to be created.
Now, of course, Moses uses the term 6 days, and the Big Bang Theory uses billions of years.
Right, but nothing in the Bible means what it says, apparently. The perfect, infallible Word of God was written by someone with the communication skills of a Ted Nugent fan with a mouthful of pine cones.
But the point here is, we have two calendars, and both agree on the beginning, and both agree on the end. Moses also does something very interesting to a scientifically minded, logical person like myself. Wait a minute, when does Moses say that the sun was created? Moses doesn't create the sun on the first day, nor does he on the second day, nor on the third. He waits to the fourth day of a 6-day creation cycle to create our sun.
Wait, Moses is creating all this stuff? That's an innovative theological interpretation. And I guess we should just ignore the fact that he also said that the earth, land, and plants were supposedly created before the sun was, somehow.
Which is 4/6. 4/6 of the way through from light to human beings, the sun is created.
Well, it's kind of confusing that this counts as the sun being created on the fourth day, given that it seems to have been created on the border between the fourth day and the fifth day.
It matches mathematically perfectly with the Big Bang Theory. 2/3 equals 4/6, 4/6 equals 2/3. It's the same fraction. So the language of science is mathematics. And mathematically, we've just shown that we have 3 data points that all agree with each other. The Big Bang Theory agrees with the Bible, or wait a minute, does the Bible agree with the Big Bang Theory?
Well, since we're talking about when the sun was created, we're getting pretty far ahead of the Big Bang Theory.
And so you have to ask yourself, wait a minute, who came up with the idea that light was created a long time before our sun was created? Think about this. Moses was raised in Egypt. In Egypt, there are many, many gods, right? However, the greatest and most powerful god is the sun god named Ra. And what you're saying to me is, if you believe Moses was writing fiction, what you're saying to me is Moses took a pen and he wrote a book of fiction, and he agrees with the Big Bang Theory perfectly, not only just in order of the creation, which he gets it pretty much all the way right.
Also, Moses probably never wrote the book of Genesis because he likely didn't even exist. There's a lot of archaeological evidence against the idea that there were any Jews in Egypt at the time.
But he also mathematically perfectly puts the sun at 2/3 of the way through the creation cycle.
Creation cycle? Creation is a cycle now? When does this cycle start again?
I'm asking my scientifically atheist friends, how did Moses do it? If he was writing a book of fiction, then how did he come up with that? How did he come up with light was created a long, long, long time before the sun? Why would anyone 3,300 years ago decide that light was a long time in creation, a long time in existence before our sun was created?
You got me. Can't be a coincidence. He must have been told that by a timeless, spaceless, disembodied mind. No other explanation makes nearly as much sense.
To everyone who helps me out on Patreon, you're a big help. Thanks so much.